time to step inside the tech tent. Google has unveiled the website's top searches in Australia for 2022, and it confirms we are sport obsessed as the Australian Open, World Cup and Shane Warne cracked the top 5. Stephen Fenech, editor of Tech Guide. We'll talk about that in just a tick, but what I want to ask you first up about is the Dyson Zone. Tell me a little bit about the Dyson Zone.
Well, good morning, Timmy. Yeah, the Dyson Zone was unveiled back in March 30 this year. And initially, a lot of us, myself included, thought this was an April Fool's Day joke. And it's not, though. They've come through and actually developed this product. So it's a noise-cancelling pair of headphones with an air purifier attached. And so this is no joke. This is coming out next month. And the science behind it, though, it's really interesting motivation for Dyson to even develop this product. It's all about obviously combating air pollution and noise pollution in one product. Now, in terms of air pollution, they're saying that 99% of populations around the world live in conditions that exceed the World Health Organization's recommendations for air pollution. And they're also saying that a lot of people, 90% of New Yorkers, for example, exceed the noise limits on their metro stations. 1 in 5 people in Europe live in areas where noise pollution is an issue as well. And with the growth of cities, and they're saying that by 2050, there's going to be even more construction, more buildings, more cities, so even more air pollution and noise pollution to combat. So to answer that, they've come up with the Dyson Zone, which takes it starts out as a noise cancelling pair of headphones. The filters for the air purifier are actually built into each of the ear cups. So Dyson, delving into their 30 years experience in airflow, purification and motor technology, have taken all that and crammed it into a pair of headphones that also now include an air filter. So the filter's designed to direct purified air towards your nose and mouth, so that you're breathing clean air, and also with the active noise cancellation, not only hearing good quality audio, but you're also blocking out most of that ambient sound as well.
Obviously, there's some COVID advantages there as well mixed in.
It is, yeah, and just a word too, it's not cheap. It's going to be well over 1,000 Australian dollars, judging by the pricing for the US and Europe. I think it's £749 in the UK, and it's going to be, I think, more than $900 as well. So expect it to be well over $1,000 when it's released in Australia. No actual release date for Australians, but it's coming out in the UK and Europe in January.
Apple has made it possible for us to sing along to our favourite songs. Tell me more.
Well, Apple Music, very popular platform, and what they've done, they've added Apple Music Sing, and this is a feature you can access on your iPhone, your iPad, and on Apple TV. So basically what it allows you to do, there's going to be millions of tracks that are going to be enabled with this feature. Now, what it's going to allow you to do is there's a feature that will allow you to actually control the volume of the vocal track. So if you back yourself as a singer, you can actually roll back the singer's volume on the track way down to 0, or if you're like me, you'd like to be hidden by the actual voice on the track, you can have that up to full volume. There's also a feature for, say, there's a duet where you and I are singing a song and your lyrics will appear on the left side of the screen, mine will appear on the right. Even the backup lyrics are in a smaller type as well, so you can really get involved and have some fun. Apple says that the lyrics feature, because you can actually dive in and read the lyrics of most songs on Apple Music, that is, they're saying, a very popular feature. They thought they would bring it to the front and allow listeners to have a bit of fun with their music.
We won't scare our viewers with a Fenech Gilbert duet. Now, Google, let's get back to this story. It's released its top searches, and sport is everywhere in 2022.
Absolutely right, yeah. And the one thing about Google searches, when they do the yearly highlights, it really does take into account the year we've had. And if you take a look at the top searches, here are the top 4, you'll notice that Wordle is at the top. Now, that was a game that we were all playing and all obsessing over. I was even sharing my daily results on Twitter at one point. I've gone off it by now, by the way. So it was a huge thing for this year. But you're right, our love of sport is huge. Australian Open coming in second, of course, with Ash Barty, who took out the tournament, Kyrgios, and he had a great tournament as well. And the World Cup, of course, the Soccer World Cup, is still going and is still very popular in the search. And also, of course, we lost the great Shane Warne. He is the most searched for person that we saw of the many people that we lost this year, including the Queen, including Olivia Newton-John and Betty White. But Novak Djokovic also, came up in the top 10 searches as well after all his dramas trying to play in the Australian Open. The war in Ukraine, of course, was also huge. But and even Ash Barty herself came up in the search. Not only she was not only a popular search while she was playing and eventually winning the Australian Open, but a couple of months later she suddenly dropped that bombshell that she was retiring from tennis. So again, we took to Google there. A lot of people are asking why the Queen wasn't in the top 10 searches when Queen Elizabeth passed away, as you know, back in September. The answer to that, I think, is because there was just so much blanket coverage of the Queen after she passed away. You turn on any TV, you turn on any radio station, and it was constantly on TV. So all the information we had was there. So no real need to Google the Queen. It was blanket coverage. But interesting to see all those other searches. Some interesting how-to searches and recipes as well. I think dal came up as the top recipe. I don't know if you're a fan, but a lot of interesting searches, because Google's not only our encyclopedia, it's also our recipe book and our cookbook and our how-to search. So I've got all those searches, the top searches on Tech Guide.
Oh, I love dal. Dal is an Indian lentil dish, and having spent a lot of time working over there covering cricket, what a beautiful meal it is, done well. Good on you, Stephen.
Thanks a lot, Tim.